Um, let's just say that you don't have a glove. Stick it on your neck. Hi friends, it's Ivy. Welcome to my mini hair series, Path to Rainbow, where I share with you everything that I've learned from dyeing my hair all sorts of colors these past 10 years. So I was originally making this a complete hair dye 101 video, but it was way too long. So I will be breaking everything up into little episodes of everything you should know if you're hoping to have rainbow hair. Let me know in the comments down below if you could have any hair color in the world, what it would be. I'll let you know what mine is at the very end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned. In today's video, I will be sharing with you all the fun and silly hacks that I use to dye my hair at home. Before I begin, I just want to share a little disclaimer here. I am in no way a hairstylist or professional of any sort in the realm of hair. Everything that I share are just things that I've learned along the way, and they were things that have worked for me. So please take everything with a grain of salt, whether it's this video or an upcoming one. I just hope that you can understand that these are only my opinions and thoughts. With that aside, here are my fun and silly hacks for dyeing your hair at home. Hack number 1. So this might be an obvious one. You should always be covering your surfaces of wherever you're dyeing your hair. Not only your tables, but also anything around you that has a potential of getting dyed, you should cover them up. Some really obvious solutions here are garbage bags, plastic sheets, a tarp, but my secret and most favorite thing to use is cardboard. Here's what I mean. So my current setup consists of some plastic sheets and some cardboard, which evidently you can see I also use for spray painting things. This is, in my opinion, the best and easiest setup because you simply prop it up in front of whatever surface you want to cover, and then once you're done, you can just put the boards dye side facing each other, clean sides facing out, then you're pretty much good to go. This is infinitely reusable and is super handy when you have white countertops like me. The plastic sheets are reusable as well. Simply fold them dye sides facing in and stuff them in the bin clean sides facing out until the next time you need them. I really should have covered my white cabinets here, but for whatever reason I did not. If you're dyeing your hair for the first time, you really should. My old setup consisted of plastic sheets and newspaper. This worked, but tended to get my hands all inky, and if a piece falls and you step on it, then step in the shower, your shower will turn black. So I really do not recommend this. Cardboard is the way to go. Hack number 2. If there is anything in your washroom that you won't be needing for your hair dyeing session, put them away. Just shove everything into a cabinet or push everything out of the room. This is the quickest, easiest, and simplest way to do it. You don't have to clean anything up afterwards, just put everything back into its original spot. Hack number 3. So if you're too lazy to cover up the walls, one thing you could do is just pull down your towels a little bit, and then that way they'll cover more of your walls than they originally would have. Hack number 4. So let's say you do all of the above and you still end up getting some dye on your table, on your tiles, on your toilet, or anything like that. Then what you're going to want to do is to take a little. So what you're going to want to do is to cover the area of the stain with a glob of soap, and you're going to want to leave that overnight. And next day you should be able to wipe it off with some warm water. This applies to semi-permanent hair dyes, and it works 90% of the time if it's on a countertop, tile, bathtub, toilet, or any kind of glossy surface. It sometimes works on walls, but your chances are pretty slim for anything like wood or walls, painted surfaces, I guess. Those tend to be quite absorbent, so with those you're going to want to wipe them off as soon as the dye touches the spot to eliminate any chances of staining, possible. Hack number 5. Okay, so everyone knows that when you're dyeing your hair that you should put on a ugly t-shirt or a smock or something like that, some kind of cape. A really obvious go-to is, of course, wearing a garbage bag. You can simply cut out a hole in the middle and 2 holes on the side, then you've got yourself a plastic cape. But have you ever thought about how you could protect your face? That's right, our faces also need protection because no one wants their face with blue blotches on them, right? Or like a huge blotch of purple on your forehead. That's not gonna look that good. Something that I've seen online is that people will put coconut oil or Vaseline on their hairline to protect their skin. But what you can do in addition to that is to put on a face mask. Yes, that's right. I mean, like a sheet mask. Simply put it on and your face will be protected for the duration of your hair dyeing session, and your face will also look extra beautiful afterwards. And if you really don't have one, then what you can do is to put on a surgical mask. Yes, that's right, the ones that we've been wearing every single day. Simply put it on your face, and that will at least protect the bottom half of your face from any hair dyeing action. And if you're bleaching your hair, this is actually also a very good thing to do because you don't want to be breathing in the fumes, and like having a face mask on will really protect your respiratory system, especially if you have allergies, asthma, or anything like that. So I highly recommend it. There has even been times where I was bleaching someone's hair and I really didn't want to be breathing in all the fumes. So what I did was I had some paper towel and some elastic bands, and I just elasticed it to my head, and it was still just as effective. Sometimes you might not realize that you have these respiratory issues, but over time, if you bleach your hair over and over again, your body will get more sensitive to it. It's really not the best thing for you. Just because you don't have a reaction the first time around doesn't mean that it won't irritate your body the second time around, so make sure you protect yourself whenever you're dealing with harsh chemicals. Hack number 6. Okay, so let's say you're wearing your ugly t-shirt and you're wearing your garbage bag or whatever, but one area that tends to not get covered up is your neck. The methods that I have discussed so far leave this area open so that your head can go through the garbage bag and the t-shirt and whatnot, but hair dye tends to get on your neck because, especially if you have long hair, well, actually my hair's not that long right now, but you get what I mean. If you have hair that's longer than your neck, then it will touch your neck, okay? That's just the reality of it. One thing that does work, and I see a lot of salons doing, is that they put a small towel around your neck and they stick it inside your shirt. Or in this case, if you're wearing the garbage bag, you can stick it into your garbage bag. But what I find works really well are labels. So go print a label, stick it on your neck. You might need a few of them. But what's really great about this is you can move around however you like and the label does not fall off. And I understand that this is a very like me solution. I know that not everyone will have a label maker at home, but what also works, before I discovered this method, is bags. Since we're using this for the neck, we're gonna cut it only around the edges. That way we're gonna have one long piece to use as sort of a plastic scarf. And this is what you'll be left with. What you're going to want to do is to wrap this around your neck. And you're going to want to tape it down, making sure that you're not taping down any hairs. Now, as long as that is pretty snug, it shouldn't move at all. I think because the bags are smaller, they tend to stay better than any kind of like a cape situation. Even if you tape the cape around your neck, it will fall down. When you have a bag, it acts more like a scarf and somehow stays better. So if you have not tried that yet, I encourage you to try it out for yourself. It really works. And if you're dyeing dark colors like me, like dark blue, dark purple, bright pinks, you don't really want to be having streaks of these colors on your neck. And a lot of the times, if you're mixing them with conditioners and things like that, it will clog your pores and then you will get some like breakouts on your neck, which is just not great. So make sure you try out these methods to protect your skin. Hack number 7. Okay, so usually when you're dyeing your hair, you'll have gloves, right? But what about these parts of your arm? I know it may seem kind of crazy, like why would hair dye get over here? But I don't know, sometimes it just happens. My hair used to be very, very long, so it kind of just touches everything. And similar to the plastic bag neck situation, this is a plastic bag arm situation. So what you're gonna want to do is to take a plastic bag and wrap it around your arm. Take a plastic bag, and these type of bags usually come with any kind of online shopping you have. I tend to save all of them in case I could use them for anything, but with one of these bags, what you can do is cut it so that you have 2 pieces. That way you only need 1 bag for 2 protective arm things. Okay, so once you have 2 pieces, then you're ready to start. You're going to want to take one of these pieces and wrap them around your arm. Now that your arm is pretty secure, you can put on your glove. Ta-da! That tends to stay very, very well. So it really eliminates a lot of problems, and it kind of makes you feel like you've got this plastic armor on for the rest of your session. Hack number 8. Okay, so what if you have no gloves? I think you know where I'm going with this, but yes, you can also use plastic bags. If you dye your hair a lot like me, you'll realize that there are many times in the month where you're gonna want to dye your hair, such as when it's getting like quite faded like this. You might want like a touch-up or something like that, but you're not always going to have gloves at home for whatever reason. But almost every household will have plastic bags, so I'm sure you can find one if you really need one. Let's just say you don't have a glove. Well, what you can also do is to use a plastic bag. Okay, this one would be a little bit harder to do with these types of rectangular bags because your fingers have to move. But what you can do is to put your hand into a bag, spread it out, and tie the 2 loops pieces around your wrist, like this. And with that, you've got a functional glove. And really all you have to do is hold your hair and hold the brush. So you're pretty much good to go. That way you've got like a full, like foolproof plastic bag armor thing. Hack number 9. Okay, so we've settled on the point that most people would have plastic bags at home. So another thing that you might have at home that would come in handy when you're dyeing your hair, which you'll never guess, is toothbrush. So if for whatever reason you don't have a hair dyeing brush, or perhaps you're using 3 colors and you only have 2 brushes, well, you can always use a toothbrush. It sounds really crazy, but it actually works really well because it's quite small and the bristles are quite like stiff and like together. So it actually applies color really well. Clearly, I'm speaking from a place of experience because I have done this before. But if for some reason you don't have a brush and you don't have a toothbrush, then hopefully you have a paintbrush, because that will also work. But ideally, you're gonna want a relatively big paintbrush that has stiff bristles, because anything too soft is going to be a little bit hard to apply, because we're not really painting here, we're dyeing our hair. So if you don't have a brush, hopefully you do have a toothbrush. Hack number 10. Okay, this final one here is for that moment when you're waiting for your hair to process and you kind of just want to walk around, but then you don't have a shower cap. I don't want to be saying this again, but you know, a plastic bag is your best friend. I'm serious, it really works. So what you do is like, you lean your hair back, right? And then you put it in the bag and then you tie a knot around your head. It surprisingly works really well. So I really urge you to try this if you do not have a shower cap and you want to walk around without dripping blue dye everywhere around your house. Needless to say, these hacks are pretty ridiculous, and now that I'm listening to myself, it requires a lot of plastic bags. But these are bags that you can actually reuse, which sounds really crazy, but if you've been on this channel for a while, you know that I'm a huge advocate for recycling stuff and reusing things. But if you just give the bags a rinse, you can totally put them all in a container for reuse in like a hair dye plastic bag box. Yeah, so you can totally reuse these. And although these methods are really ridiculous, if you're ever dyeing your hair at home and you find that you don't have gloves, or perhaps you're getting hair dye on your neck, or maybe you're dyeing your hair for a wedding and you don't want to get hair dye on your face, that will definitely stay for a few days, then you might want to try a couple of these methods. I really hope that these come in handy for you. You will feel really funny wearing a face mask and a surgical mask and some labels on your neck, but the result is pretty satisfying. I like my hair, and I don't really mind that I had to look ridiculous in the process to get here. And dyeing your hair at home really only costs a fraction of what it would at a salon. If that is something you're interested in hearing about, I will be sharing it in an upcoming video. I really hope that you enjoyed this. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future episodes of my Path to Rainbow hair series. I'll be listing upcoming episodes over here. If you made it all the way to the end, please give this video a like to support this channel. I'm so happy that you could join us today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you all next week. Oh yes, and before I forget, the big reveal of my dream hair color. It's gotta be one of these. This metallic-y, pinky, gray to cool silver color, or this ashy pink color. My life is already so great as it is, but if I could just have this, I might just be able to take over the world. Just kidding. Have a great weekend, guys.